Hey everybody, Melanie here, and I've been asked by a few people actually why I chose to go with the duodenal switch surgery as opposed to Roux-en-Y bypass or the vertical sleeve gastrectomy or lap band or the intragastric balloon. And I wanted to just do a video about that. Let me say first off, let me give a disclaimer. I'm not trying to disrespect anyone else's surgery. If you chose to go with a different procedure, your choice is right for you, and I hope that you researched it and fully looked at every option, which I would assume that you did because this is a major undertaking. My decision is based on 10 years of my own personal research, as well as research in many medical publications, peer-reviewed studies, statistics, all kinds of research. I'm a research person. Numbers is my thing. That's what I do for a living. So that's where my decision is coming from, and it's the decision that is right for me and my surgeon and my team of doctors for personal care and everything. They are all in agreement. I wanted to go with a procedure that has the best long-term documented success rate, because I want this to be one and done. I don't want to have to do anything later on, and I don't want something with a significant chance of regain. If you've seen any of my earlier videos, you'll see that my starting BMI is 57. So I am in the category of super morbidly obese. And that is one of the things that the duodenal switch surgery works very well on, is super morbid obesity. It works for others too, and it's a metabolic procedure, and I'll go into that. Excess weight loss. It means your ideal weight based on your height, age, body frame versus your current weight. That difference is your excess weight. The weight over and above what you should weigh ideally. That's what excess weight is. And based on all of the scientific and medical journal peer-reviewed studies that I reviewed, the Roux-en-Y, which is known as the gastric bypass, it has for long term, patients will maintain about 50 to 60% of their excess weight lost. So that means if you have 200 pounds of excess weight, so say you're supposed to weigh, just for sake of numbers, say your ideal weight is supposed to be 100 pounds, and you actually weigh 300 pounds. Well, 300 minus 100 is 200, so that means your excess weight is 200 pounds. With the Roux-en-Y, you keep off between 50 to 60% of that, so you would lose about 100 pounds. You'd still have 100 pounds excess weight. With the Roux-en-Y, that was Roux-en-Y. With the VSG, the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, long-term studies show that they too would keep off approximately 50 to 60% of their excess weight. So if your ideal weight was supposed to be 100 and your current weight was 300 and you had the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, you could expect to lose about 100 pounds. So you'd still be 100 pounds overweight. With the biliary pancreatic diversion with duodenal switch, long-term studies show that they lose long-term about 91% of their excess weight. So if your ideal weight was supposed to be 100, and you weighed 300 pounds, that means you had 200 pounds of excess weight. I'm getting my calculator here because I'm not that good at doing. That means that you could expect to lose 182 pounds. So that was a huge statistic for me. And that means that they don't just lose it, they keep it off. This is long term. So if it meant that I could lose 200 pounds, you know, that's saying something. So if you needed to lose 200 pounds and you had the choice between losing 100 pounds or 182 pounds, which would you choose? My research told me to choose 182 pounds. So that's what I'm going to do. One of the things that the medical studies showed was that an ideal target to shoot for to try to resolve comorbidities such as high blood pressure, hyperlipidemia, which means like elevated cholesterol levels, elevated LDL levels in the blood. You needed to get a final BMI of under 35%. And the studies showed that VSG and Roux-en-Y did not get patients below. Yes, they lost weight, and it helped them a lot, especially it helped them with diabetes. The VSG did a really good job at helping resolve type 2 diabetes. But as far as getting patients to a healthy BMI of under 35%, to resolve blood pressure problems, to resolve hyperlipidemia, which is the elevated cholesterol and triglycerides and LDL, and those types of things, that the VSG and the Roux-en-Y were not sufficient, that they did not get people to that range, but 100% of the time the DS did. So those were a couple of things that I was concerned about, because as a heart patient and a stroke survivor, those things are first and foremost in my mind, because I don't want to have another heart attack. I do not want to have another stroke. I don't want to be dead before my 45th birthday. And to get to the finish line and extend the years of my life, I'm not diabetic, but I do have high blood pressure, and I do have high cholesterol, and I do have high triglycerides. And I want those resolved, and I want those resolved permanently. And the facts and the research showed that the DS could get me there. The DS is a twofold surgery. It all takes place during one surgery, but it has two aspects to it. There's a restrictive aspect. So my stomach is going to be exactly the same as any other VSG patient. My stomach is going to be sleeved. So we're going to get exactly the same restriction. But further down the line, in my anatomy, in the intestinal part, that's going to be rerouted drastically. So I'm going to have some serious malabsorption going on of everything that I take in. Of all of the fat that I take in, I'm only going to absorb about 20% of all the fat that I take in. Everything else is going to pass through. Protein, I'm going to absorb about half of all the protein calories that I take in. The rest of it will pass through. For carbohydrates, complex carbs like whole grains and raw vegetables and those types of things, I will absorb about 60% of those. Everything else will pass through. Simple carbs is simple carb. Sugar is sugar. You start absorbing that in your mouth, and that's 100%, but that's 100% for everybody. The duodenal switch surgery changes your metabolism to correct insulin resistance. It doesn't just restrict what you can take in, it changes your whole metabolism. There are now studies going on where people who are not even morbidly obese but have diabetes are having the duodenal switch and having fantastic results in how their metabolic processes are changing to correct those problems, and not just correct them but resolve them for the rest of their life. I just saw the highest level of patient satisfaction with the duodenal switch, the highest level of long-term results, and I'm a person who likes to hedge my bet. I like to back it up, and this to me is double insurance. Not only am I going to lose weight, but I'm going to keep it off, and keep it off long-term, and that's for me. Thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate everybody's questions and feedback. I'm going to make another video to explain the actual anatomy of the duodenal switch procedure and why you don't see as many doctors offering it. But this is just right now my reasons for choosing it. So happy St. Patrick's Day. Sparkle on.